I grew up around music. It's my whole world. If you told 12-year-old me that one day I'd be working for Grace Davis, she's an icon.
This woman doesn't even know your last name.
She does, sometimes.
Maggie is an assistant to a music icon and her personal hero, Grace Davis. And it's almost a dream come true.
And the girls still give me goosebumps.
Tracy Ellis Ross and Dakota Johnson star in the new comedy drama, The High Note. The film puts a musical spin on the storyline we've seen in Devil Wears Prada and Late Night, where a respected boss in a desired field treats her assistant poorly while secretly caring for them.
Grace, have you thought any more?
In this film, Maggie, played by Johnson, aspires to be a music producer. When Grace mentions her interest in finally making a new album, Maggie sees an opportunity, while Grace's manager and the rest of her team believes she should stick to replaying her old hits.
Let me do my job and you do yours, which is get her coffee, Kleenex, Kotex, and whatever else the hell we've been paying you to do for the last 6 months.
I've been here for 3 years.
You get paid? I thought you were an intern.
My life is a joke!
Luckily, Maggie stumbles upon David, a talented singer she meets at the grocery store. She decides to help David with his music while still assisting Grace full-time, all in an effort to prove that she can successfully produce a music artist. Needless to say, things don't always go as planned. The predictability of The High Note is surprisingly not an issue. The relationship between Maggie and Grace is a lot of fun. I just wish we saw more of it. Ross steals the show every time she's on screen. Johnson and her play off each other very well, giving us sweet, tender moments of two women who just want to prove that their talents are worth more than what others have limited them to. Unfortunately, the time spent trying to force a romance between Maggie and David, played by Kelvin Harris Jr., distracts the audience from the real heart of this movie. Harris Jr. does a fantastic job, along with the rest of the cast, including Ice Cube and Bill Pullman. But all you're really craving is the banter and chemistry between Ross and Johnson. The High Note may not be a #1 hit, but it's an enjoyable track. It's one of the first films I've watched during this quarantine that has made me feel like I'm at the movies again. It's a light-hearted musical escape that's worth watching.
Are not a drive-through.
Well, it should be, it could be.
Oh my God, is that Grace Davis?
No.
Now let's talk about Amazon Prime's new independent movie, The Vast of Night. The production value may not be high, but the acting and story is first-rate. The film is set in New Mexico during the 1950s. As basketball season begins, a small town is preoccupied in a high school gym while two teens, Faye and Everett, are working at the local radio station. But when they discover a strange audio frequency, their typical night turns into a wild goose chase of tracking down the source of this mysterious static.
The news for the hour.
What would you like to tell us about yourself?
I don't know.
Well, aren't you like some big science girl? Tell me about science.
Everett, it's Faye. The sound came through the board and interrupted your radio show.
What a sound.
What's going on, Everett?
718 here at WOTW. We got a sound we'd like to play that seems to be bouncing around the valley tonight.
Yes, I have a story that might be helpful.
Andrew Patterson's directorial debut is a simple plot that holds a lot of layers. We're taken on a tense and eerie mission that is only elevated by Jake Horowitz's and Sierra McCormick's charismatic and strong performances. This movie is a wonderful ode to the Twilight Zone and raises our own curiosities about extraterrestrial life. The Vast of Night feels nostalgic, providing a fresh lens to a story we've seen before. Now, it does move a little slow, and it can be heavy on the dialogue in certain scenes, but if you turn off the lights, sit back and immerse yourself in this mystery fantasy, you'll be anxious to know what these kids find. And thankfully, you can look forward to a satisfying conclusion. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
Something's up there now. It's something talking. And they don't stay for long.
Hey!
Everett, take the wheel!
What's going on? There's something in the sky.